They say every house has its secrets. Some are buried in the attic, sealed in boxes of old memories. Others hide beneath the floorboards, waiting. What I'm about to tell you isn't a story I heard online or something I dreamed up. It happened to me. And for years, I've tried to convince myself it wasn't real. That what lived under our house was just a shadow, a trick of a child's imagination. But shadows don't whisper your name, and they don't leave blood behind. This is the story of the man beneath our house. I don't remember much from when I was 7, but I remember that house. It wasn't special, a tired single-story home on the edge of town, with paint that peeled like old sunburn, and a porch that sagged in the middle. It always looked like it was trying its best to keep standing. It smelled like dust-damp wood and the faint sweetness of my mother's candles. But what I remember most wasn't the house itself. It was what was under it. Beneath our floors was a crawl space, a long hollow cavity running the length of the house. Barely 2 feet high, black as tar, sealed by uneven wooden slats my father had nailed across the opening. He told me never to go near it, said it was full of spiders and rusted nails, the kind that'd tear open your skin. My mother said the same, though her voice was softer, less afraid, more tired. And of course, I didn't listen. I was a curious kid. I used to kneel by those slats, peeking through the cracks. Most of the time, I saw nothing but dirt and darkness. Sometimes, if the light hit right, I'd catch a glimpse of the wooden beams, or the glint of something moving quick like a bug or a mouse. But one afternoon, I heard it. A voice. Soft, dry, like it was blowing out from the shadows. It said my name. I froze. At first, I thought it was the wind slipping under the porch. It had that hollow whistle to it. But then it came again, this time clearer. Hey kid, come here a second. Any normal person would have screamed. Any adult would have called for help. But I was 8, and kids that age think nothing bad can happen to them. So I crawled forward. I pressed my face against the slats, squinting into the black. And then I saw him. A face stared back at me through the dark. His eyes were wide and sunken skin pale and streaked with grime. His hair hung in long, greasy strands. He didn't blink, just smiled. Didn't mean to scare you, buddy, he said softly. I'm an old friend of your dad's. I remember nodding because at that age, why wouldn't I believe him? He sounded kind, familiar, safe. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. Let's keep this between us, okay? Just for now. Your dad might not understand. And in that moment, it felt exciting, like I was part of a secret. After that day, I visited the crawl space often. I'd sit outside and whisper through the cracks, and he'd whisper back. He never came out, never reached for me. He just stayed there, hidden, speaking in that calm, friendly tone. He'd ask me things like, what's your favorite game? What do you want to be when you grow up? Does your little brother play outside too? I liked the way he listened, how he made me feel, like what I said mattered. He remembered every detail I told him. Over time, his questions changed. They got quieter, sharper. Your dad still works late, huh? Where do you sleep in the house? Your mom locks the doors at night, right? At first, I didn't think much of it. Adults always asked weird questions, but there was something in his tone. Something I couldn't name then, but I feel in my bones now. It wasn't curiosity, it was calculation. I started noticing strange things. At night, I'd hear soft thumps beneath the floorboards, like someone crawling under the house. Once I woke up to the sound of breathing, not heavy, not loud, just close. Our dog would sometimes growl at the floor tail between his legs. Mom said he was just old. And then one morning, I found muddy handprints on the underside of the porch steps. I didn't tell anyone. I thought it might be my imagination. That evening, when I went to the crawl space, he whispered before I could even say hello. "Hey, buddy, you remember where your dad keeps the spare key to the shed?" My chest felt tight. He had never asked me for anything before. I hesitated. "Yeah." He chuckled. "Think you could grab it for me?" I left something out there. A little keepsake. I remember the way my heart beat slow, uncertain. Something felt wrong. But before I could say no, he added softly, "You don't have to, if you don't want to." And that gentle tone disarmed me again. So I told him where it was, behind the cinder blocks under the back steps. He said, "Thanks, kid." And for the first time, I heard movement, a faint shifting sound under the dirt, like someone crawling away. The next day, he didn't speak much, just whispered, "You've been real good to me. You know that. You've been my favorite." Then he paused. "I want to give you something, a present, but it's a surprise." I remember smiling. I loved surprises. He said, "All you have to do is leave the back door unlocked tonight." I froze. "Why?" "So I can leave your present by the stairs. You'll find it in the morning." I didn't answer. Before I could, my mom called me in for dinner. When I looked back, he was gone. That night, I did it. I unlocked the back door. Dinner was normal, or it was, until I said something that changed everything. I wasn't even thinking. I just said it. "I talked to your friend under the house today." The fork slipped from my father's hand. Mom froze at the stove. The silence that followed was thick, unreal. My dad looked pale, eyes wide. "What friend?" "Your friend," I said, smiling. "The one who lives in the crawl space." He stood up so fast, his chair screeched against the floor. Without another word, he stormed outside. I remember my mom turning slowly to me, her face empty. "Who are you talking about?" I followed my father to the yard. He was already tearing at the slats, ripping them off with his bare hands. Wood-splintered nails screamed out of the boards. "Dad, what are you doing?" I asked. He didn't answer. He was breathing hard, shining his flashlight into the darkness. For a long moment, I thought I'd see him, the pale man with the sunken eyes. But there was nothing, just dirt, dust, cobwebs. Then the beam stopped. Something red, half buried in the soil. A tiny shoe. It wasn't mine. It was my brother's. Dad's voice broke. "Where is your brother?" I turned ready to call out, but then I heard it. A sound from inside the house. A scream. High, sharp animal. It didn't sound human. Dad ran. I followed. The hallway was a blur. When we reached my brother's room, the door was closed. Dad hit it once, twice, until it splintered open. The first thing I saw was the blood. Everywhere. On the floor, the walls, even the ceiling. And in the middle of it all, what was left of him. I didn't scream. I couldn't. Because I realized I had let it in. The thing under the house. The thing that called me friend. It wasn't just in the crawl space anymore. The police came. The neighbors watched. The house never felt like ours again. Mom stopped speaking. Dad stopped sleeping. They moved us away not long after. New house, new town. But nothing changed inside me. I don't remember the funeral. I don't remember how long I cried. I only remember sitting in bed one night, staring at the floorboards, and realizing that I could still hear it. The sound, that soft crawling sound beneath the house. Years have passed since then. I've grown up. People tell me what happened wasn't my fault. But they're wrong. Because sometimes when I wake in the dark, I hear it again. A dry voice slipping up from the cracks, soft as a sigh. It says my name, just like it did back then. And no matter how many times I move, or how many floors I live above the ground, it always finds a way to whisper from underneath.